Letitia James, in my estimation, did something that was really pretty darn illegal. She decided that she wanted to go after someone and then fabricated a whole bunch of nonsense to fit the crime so that she could then try and bankrupt him. That's exactly what happened. I mean, for Letitia James and the judge, Arthur, to be deciding on the valuation of Mar-a-Lago, to be deciding whether or not Deutsche Bank should be lending him money at whatever rate because they believe that something is worth less than what Deutsche Bank, the bank that's lending the money and therefore his skin in the game, and the owner, Donald Trump, believe it to be worth. I mean, this is wild, okay? The woman is whacked. And the court knows it, which is why when they reacted to her, they were like, you are so far out over your skis. We know this in the appeals court. They said this, and I'm getting sick and tired of waiting for them to actually throw this thing out. Bunch of pansies there that just don't have the guts to do what they need to do. I guess they're waiting until January 20th. But let me tell you, this is not a case. It doesn't belong there, and they know it. There's no victim.
May it please the court, Judith Vale for the New York Attorney General's office. All of the defendants repeatedly violated...
Ms. Vale, can you identify any previous case in which the Attorney General sued under Executive Law 6312 to upset a private business transaction that was between equally sophisticated partners, where the supposed victim had the ability and legal obligation to discover the allegedly misrepresented matters by conducting its own due diligence, where the supposed wrongdoer advised the supposed victim through written disclaimers to conduct its own due diligence and to draw its own conclusions, where the alleged misrepresentation almost entirely concerned inherently subjective valuations of properties and businesses.
Yes.
And where the victim never complained about any fraud in the transactional losses from it. Because I've gone through the cases which you've cited, and all of them always involved the consumer protection aspect. It involved protection of the market.
Well, several responses.
And I want to add to his question, and little to no impact on the public marketplace.
In other words, there were no victims. Okay? How do you bring a case like that to the tune of nearly $500 million when there are no victims? You can't. So Letitia James, guess what? Honey, you're going down. You're going down, and Pam's going to take you. And listen, I'm just happy to be here for the ride and to watch it all, because this is what needs to happen, okay? And I'm not a vindictive person. Trump's not a vindictive person. Pam Bondi's not a vindictive person. Nobody's vindictive here. People just want to make sure that we have a system that's set up fairly. And when you have bad prosecutors doing bad things, you know what? That can't be tolerated, because it actually pollutes the entire system, and it makes it so much harder for the good people. And there are plenty of good people out there that want to do good things, that want to be involved in politics, but who the heck would want to be part of it, knowing that the likes of Letitia James can come after you because, well, she just can. Here's Pam Bondi speaking on Fox a while back. I think this was in August.
When Republicans take back the White House, you know what's going to happen? The Department of Justice, the prosecutors will be prosecuted, the bad ones. The investigators will be investigated, because the deep state, last term for President Trump, they were hiding in the shadows. But now they have a spotlight on them, and they can all be investigated.
The question is whether or not actions...
Yeah, they can be investigated, and they will be investigated. And that's what's about to go down. So Letitia James, yeah, you're in a little bit of trouble. Just a little bit of trouble, I would say, because you can't actually do these sorts of illegal things. You can't actually just decide to go after someone just because you don't like him. No matter how much steel, as you like to say, you have in your backbones.
I will not fear Donald Trump. I have steel in my backbone. And the reality is I will not allow this person, Donald Trump, who unfortunately is a broken man, to get in the way of progress and to separate us.
Okay. You keep going with that, all right? You're the one who's guilty here, not him. You, Letitia. And you belong, frankly, in my estimation, in prison for what happened. To think that you wanted to go and try and round up his properties, to seize his assets. It's what she said she was going to do. Remember how she just went around and told ABC News she was going to go to Trump Tower and seize his assets? Listen, I mean, Mike Davis said it pretty well when he said, honey, you're going to find your sweet, I won't say it, I'll let him, in prison. Watch.
Let me just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General. I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump in his second term, because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time, and we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against rights. And I promise you that. So
think long and hard, because you know where you're going, straight to the slammer. And I'm telling you, look, again, I'm not vindictive. Trump's not vindictive. Pam's not vindictive. Nobody is. But you can't allow what happened to ever happen again, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Mark Zuckerberg coming out and saying he had the Biden administration breathing down his back, intimidating his employees. Now, whether you want to believe Mark or not, right, a whole other story, because I think Mark's out for Mark. And as a shareholder in Meta, let me just say, we want the CEO understanding which way the wind blows. But I would say this, for sure they did that. For sure they did that. I ran into it myself with them, because I dared to share a story on the Hunter Biden laptop after Biden had already been elected. Unbelievable. I mean, the world has been through hell and back. And so now you see everybody coming to the table, and we're going to talk about that, because you got Coca-Cola, you got the tech bros, you got everybody suddenly on board, excited about the good stuff that can happen. And believe me, there's going to be tons and tons and tons of good stuff, which is one of the reasons why I really, really, really want you to go take a look at Invest in MAGA. This is my guide at 76 Research. Go to 76research.com if you want to sign up for the 76 report. It's just $1 a month. You can swing it. Trust me, you'll make money by investing money. And I hope that in some way I can help you do that, because we have some tremendous portfolios there, an income builder portfolio, an American resilience portfolio, which is all about growth, and we have an inflation protection portfolio. But if you just want the overall picture of, and a few names here and there of where things are heading, you want to go to the 76report.com, sign up with code word dollar, DOLLAR. You can see I'm excited about Letitia heading to the slammer. Anyway, investinmaga.com. Investinmaga.com is a guide that we put together that's totally free. So I encourage you to go there and sign up. You see Rob's picture on the screen. Rob Horton is a longtime, very dear friend of mine, a brilliant guy who's been investing billions of dollars for decades on Wall Street. And now we got him. We got him at 76 Research. So I'm thrilled to have started this venture with him. And I hope that you can be part of it, because there are good things coming. I'm telling you, right? Hey, Trump is back. And this is a different kind of Trump. You think about all the stuff he had to go through before. And I'm not saying that he's not going to have to go through a certain element of that, but I think things have really changed. I mean, in other words, Americans, they know what it can be like when you vote somebody in who doesn't know what they're doing. They know what the inflation scenario is going to look like. They don't want to go back to those days. I mean, those are very, very scarring days. And so he has the wind at his back, as we like to say, the Irish, right? May the wind always be at your back. And America's with him. So his stock is sky high. And there is an expectation that he can get a lot done. And he will get a lot done. Again, I'm going to get to the hostages and what he's saying on that in just a short time. But even with all the optimism, look, I'm still a realist, and I'm a big believer in diversification, which is one of the reasons why I do invest in gold. And I encourage you to take a look at gold. These are our friends over at American Heart for Gold, one of the sponsors of the Trish Regan Show. We thank them for that. They help make all this possible for free for you every single day. If you're interested in investing in gold, these are the guys you need to call. $15,000 in free silver is what their offer is right now. With qualifying offers, buying gold, you can get up to $15,000 in free silver. Just call 1-844-495-1115, or you can text Trish, my name, Trish, to 65532 today on your cell phone. Just text Trish to 65532, or go to trishlovesgold.com. I do love it. In fact, I was talking to my husband last night, and he looked at me and he's like, so what happens if God forbid, China were to just invade Taiwan? And I'm like, oh, I don't think that'll. He said, well, what if? And I'm like, well, you're really going to want gold then. And he said, well, we don't have enough then. So I watch it every time it goes down. I try and get a little bit more. You can get up to $15,000, as I said, with American Heart for Gold. TrishLovesGold.com today.